Aha, good. And people see me now too, good. So we'll record this, so we'll have a video of this either way. And that, I mean, that's from YouTube. So if you can play back YouTube, you should be able to get that. If there are settings on your side, you can handle those, but for now, most people seem to have this going. So let's get to actually working on this and what I want to talk about today. We have our layers. You know what, maybe I'll move my, you know what I'll do instead? I'm going to talk a little bit about this interface because something about the Photoshop interface is it's entirely configurable, which can be bad. What it means is you can walk into someone's shop and go into their Photoshop and have no idea where anything is because every single window can be moved around. And you'll notice in the other video I mentioned these little double arrow dealies over here. What they do is they expand things in or out. You can also grab whole panels and move them around. I wanted to show you a couple of quick things to fix things if you're lost, primarily. I'd mentioned over here we have a series of preset workspaces. I defaulted to Essentials, which is where things start. Ideally, if you're working with photos, that's supposed to be a better layout for photos. I don't actually like this color swatch that much. I can expand it, I think, yeah, like that. So I could do that if I'm happier with it. I also, since I don't use this library at all, I could shove it over there. And now I've customized this particular layout. Let's push that back like that. And if I want to go back, I can go under here. I can go to Reset, and it will be that one, Reset Photography, and it will go back to the way it came from the factory, just so you know that's there. I want to talk about a few other types of layers, because we were over here. I'll pull that panel down to get the keyboard out of the way. Or, you know what, since I'm not using stuff over here, it might be easier if I move this stuff. Let's just unlock it a little bit. And that one. And we'll just push everybody up a little. Well, no, I can stay where I am. We'll push you up, and we'll push this guy up. That's good. So it's out of the way, the layer panel. That's my main interest. And somewhere or another, I'm going to find this damn mouse. You're the mouse? You're the mouse. Okay. I don't use the library stuff. Adobe is pushing real hard to get people to use their online cloud stuff. Everybody is, because that's where software is going, let's face it. But it doesn't, what's the best way to put this? You're going to make a decision in your life. You're going to make a lot of decisions in your life, truthfully. But if you're going to work in graphics like this, you're going to spend the rest of your career dealing with software and installing it and handling it and moving it from place to place. Every company right now is trying to get you into their cloud. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, Autodesk, I could keep going. Because everybody knows that all software is going to be served through a web browser within the next couple of years. Most of it already is. The issue about this is, of course, you have to trust them. And these aren't great companies to trust, all things considered. But you're going to have to. There's no way about it. There's no two ways about it. A lot of people trust Apple. And if you trust Apple, you go into their cloud and you live in their world and they take care of everything for you. Adobe would like that too. That's why they have this whole library thing. That's why when you open and save, it says, would you like to save to the cloud? That's why they give you all this other storage space. That's why they're charging a monthly fee. Monthly fees do much better for software companies. Adobe has made more profit by switching to a subscription model than they ever made before. So I'm only saying that because everything about libraries and online storage and cloud storage has a lot more to do with someone getting their hooks into your credit card number than necessarily being useful for you. With that said, if you don't put your stuff in the cloud, it's going to be gone. Adobe has Behance, which is their system of online portfolios, and a lot of people use that. If you put your stuff in there, it's stuck in there, but on the other hand, a lot of other design professionals see it. So you have to think about where you want to put these things. For us right now, I want to talk more about these layers here. Renaming I mentioned. When you hand this in to me, well, to us, not that I'm referring to me in the multiple, I'm saying the whole class will see it, we need to have your name on it. That's another type of layer. That's called a text layer. If I go here, see that? Horizontal type tool. And note it has that little tiny arrow at the side, which means there's more stuff if I hold it down. We have a horizontal type tool and a vertical type tool. I'll use the vertical one, why not? I click it, and I'm going to go out here, and it should open a whole bunch of stuff. Wow. Man, that's a little font. That's no one's fault but my own. There, we can see that font up there. I need to control this font a little more. I need to see what it's doing. So I need my text tools. The other thing about those displays over here, if I go into Window, every single window that the program has is available here. So if I need a different one, like this one, which shows me what font and what size I'm using, that's better. You still went back to 12. We'll put you to 60. There we go. I can get them. There will be default layouts that have this already, but since I know that's there and handy, it's worth mentioning that Adobe's specialty is font handling. I'm going to ask myself why I'm saying that. The reason I'm saying that is that Adobe invented, did they invent it? I think they invented it. They invented what's called the Postscript format. Postscript is a technology to store fonts on computers, and the interesting thing about it is it stores them as a shape. So the letter A is a description of what a letter A looks like. The letter B is a description of what the letter B looks like. What that means is we can change the fonts to any size. They could be 20 feet across, they could be 1/100 of an inch across, they'll maintain all their detail. Now I say this because all of that font handling goodness is in here, meaning if I want any font, I have them available. I'm not even going to use that layer, I think, although let me find a better looking font. We'll go with that one. And clearly I need a better color. We'll go with black so it holds up. And now I should be able to type more like what I'd like to type. Though I'm not liking vertical at all. You'll notice it gave me a new layer over here. And that layer has a big T next to it, which means it's a text layer. That means it's editable. I can change it over time. I'm going to, using my text tools, delete all of that text. And we're going to pick a good color. We'll pick, no, magenta's a little, we'll pick cyan. So this is the U, and this is how saturated it is. That's more a light blue than a cyan. Let's swing it a little bit in between there. That's a cyan. And now that's too light a color. Let's see if we can get a darker cyan. Oh yeah, I sort of like that. It's sort of a Wedgwood blue. Now we'll pick a size. I'll pick 60-point text. And we'll pick a font. We have a lot of choices. Any font you get, you can install and then use. This looks kind of classy. Cantrell. I'm using caps on this. And I'll change the size of that. Probably should do it the other way, but I sort of like it like this. Even within the way this lays out, like I want this to be centered. I want them both to be centered. Good. So now they're centered in that space, which is good. I'm going to put it at a slight angle to get a little fancier about it. And I'm going to move it to there. And just to prove it, I'm going to grab my bike layer, and we'll put the bike layer there. Again, just to prove it. And I'll move my text layer on top of that, like that. So now I can see that on top, although the green is making that hard to identify. This text will stay live. We'll put it in the coffee, why not? It will stay live until I decide it shouldn't be. Right up there. So if I want to edit this still, I could. If I go back to my text tool here, you know what, there it is. I can still change it, which is kind of cool. And you'll see it's its own specialty type of layer. It has the big T next to it. It is named what is typed in there. Where that extra L is, I don't know. Probably it's, oh, you know what, I bet you it's like, I shouldn't laugh, but I bet you it's a, like a 10-point L. Okay, that looks better. And if we leave that, now it says Francis Schmidt, see that? So, once you have this together, once you have your name on it, we're going to get ready to save them. I'm going to save again as a PSD, but I do not want the PSD. Save as. I'm going to call this class composite assignment 2, and I'll do this so I have a version to go back to. And this version is going to save all the layers, but I can't use that. The thing about the internet, which is where all this stuff is going to end up, is that it wants images small. We want to flatten this, which is to remove all the layers and put it down to 1, and then output this as a JPEG so that we can see it over in Discord. The way I'm going to do that is under this menu here, and this is once I'm happy, by the way. Let's, you know what, let's get out of that tool. And at some point, you're going to let me go back to what I'm doing here. Oh, this is unhappy over something. I know why. It's asking on the saving if I need to maximize compatibility. I do. Good. Now I can move around again, I'm hoping. Yes. I have to flatten this. Flattening is taking all the layers and mashing them down to 1. I do that when I'm ready to output it. The PSD format, the Photoshop format, is what's known as an intermediary format, meaning it saves all my choices, it saves them uncompressed. It's a big file. When I need to go online or show it to someone, I need to go to an output format. We're going to go to JPEG, and we're going to talk about what that is briefly too. First off, I have to flatten these. One thing I can do before is I can combine layers. Like, let's say I know my coffee is going to stay like that. If I right mouse click this, I should get merge layers. So now we just have one layer out of those two, and you'll see if I move this now, oh, that's the wrong one. They move together as one. Now the real thing I have to do is I have to mash this all down. I can get it here, flatten image, or I can get it here on this menu, flatten image. Watch what happens when I do it. One layer. Now it's all connected. I can't take it back and forth, take it apart, do all that other stuff, but I can output it. File, save as, and where we're saving this is in the Documents directory. I want you to notice here we have our 2 versions of this. They're 10 megabytes, which is pretty big. I'm going to go to JPEG. JPEG stands, so you know it, so someone's told it to you once in your life at least, Joint Photographic Experts Group. And it's a means of taking images and compressing them much smaller. It loses detail, but it loses detail you don't see. I'm going to show you that. We're going to call this Assignment 1. And hit save. I have some options. The largest file is what I want. You have choices in how much it will compress. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to minimize this for a moment. and I'm going to go to a file thing here because, again, I'm always talking about file maintenance, big issue file maintenance. Let's go to our documents, which is where I think I put it. There they are. Okay. This is the PSD file. It is 10 megabytes. This is the other one, 10 megabytes. This is the JPEG file. It is 1 megabyte. It is 1/10 the size. That's way smaller. If I want to do something like go into homework and projects and bring that over, man, you think it would just go right to that, wouldn't you? I can do that and it will upload almost instantly. It also has my name on it, so I know who it is. This is what you're going to do for me next Tuesday, but you're also going to put your original JPEG images in there so we can see what images made it and then what the final composite looks like. And then we can move on to a new assignment. I want to show you one other thing before we end this, and it's about JPEG. This is our Photoshop document. I'm going to close that. And I'm going to close that. No, we don't want to save them. I'm going to open, I'll open this one. That's the last one we've been working on, has all my layers, right? I'm also going to open what we saved. Open the JPEG. Okay. Now, this and this look pretty similar, right? I mean, I moved one thing. But we know that this is 1/10 the size of this. Why? We're going to zoom in. There's something called JPEG artifacting. JPEG artifacting is small, squarish artifacts. You can sort of see them there. That show up in an image that's high resolution detail that it throws out. I can see it here, I can see it here. Let's look at the other one. And we'll try and compare them. Now we're way zoomed in, obviously. That's zoomed in a little bit more. I'm not going to lie, I'm not seeing much difference. What we're going to do, we're going to save this one again. File, save as. We're going to save it as a JPEG. JPEG. And we'll call this assignment 1J. And we'll make the quality less. We won't go all the way to the bottom, we'll go to there. Okay. Now, let's open that. You'll notice that is 161 kilobytes. The original file is 10 megabytes. The first JPEG compressed file, 1 megabyte. This new JPEG compressed file is 1/10 of a megabyte. Let's see if that's getting us any JPEG artifacting. Oh God, yes. Okay, I'm at, you know what, we'll go to there, 476. Okay. Now, you see those big squarish blocks right there and there and there and there and there and there and there. And then look at this one. Do you not see those big squarish blocks there and there and there and there and there and there? I can line these up slowly. That is very heavily compressed, JPEG compression. That is not as heavily compressed. This is not compressed at all. Now, If you don't zoom in on the image, let's put them both at 100%. That's roughly 100%. That's roughly 100%. So, do I see a lot of difference between these two? Not really. It's only when you zoom in on it. The reason we don't generally use JPEG to save in is that every time we load it and save it, it will get worse and worse and worse. So, load your images as JPEGs however you get them, cut them up, work on them as a PSD, and then once you're done working with that PSD, you're going to flatten it and you're going to save it back out as a JPEG, and you're going to stick it up here in Discord next Tuesday in the homework channel so we can look at it. Okay? Okay. I'm going to step off.